Hello everyone and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Roz13, and today we are looking at the HG1144 scale Zabanya from Gundam 00 Awakening of the Trailblazer. Not to be confused with Zabanya from Yokai Watch, the orange cat with the two tails. Anybody? Fine. Moving on, this is one of the kits that I got for Father's Day, and it was one of the not crazy ones, if I remember correctly, that they got me, and I've been really excited to check it out and show it to you guys. So let's go ahead and get started with the box like we always do. So we got a really cool illustration of the Gundam Zabanya with its little fence thing going on, all sorts of text and stuff like that, and you can't hardly read any of it because it's filled with mobile suits and explosions. And you can see parts of it flying off because these are actually like rifle bits or something. And you got one of the other Gundams there whose name escapes me at the moment. This is part of the HG Gundam 00 line, and this was originally released in 2010. So that kind of puts it right at the edge of the sort of acceptable modern Gunpla standards, I guess. In fact, really, Gundam 00 was when you really started seeing what we now think of current Gunpla coming about. Anyway, so this even actually still has a red Bandai logo on it. So this might have been an actual vintage kit, if you will. Not that, 2010 should ever be considered vintage. Anyway, on this side, we got all sorts of painted photographs showing the different things that it can do, all of which are mentioned in Japanese, which I cannot read. But you're welcome to look at that. On this side, we got the same illustration as before. All the text still covered up. You can't even really see its name. It's kind of funny. This is number 67 in the line. And over here we have more painted photographs as well as a long write-up about everything, which again, I can't read. Then here we have the barcode, and hey look, yen price. This was originally marketed at about 1,800 yen, so about 18 bucks or so. Since this was a gift, I have no idea if that's how much it was. Then on this side, same as the other, but the good old-fashioned bluefin sticker. And that is that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself now. And here he is without most of his accessories, and looks pretty neat, I think. He's a late Gundam 00 design, so he has that sort of aesthetic where a lot of the stuff is a little bit more streamlined, I suppose. Of course, all 00 mechs kind of have a bit of a streamlined appearance, so maybe I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. I'm not a huge expert on 00. I've seen the series all the way through, but it's only been about one time, and I can't remember all the details. And I've only seen the movie, I think, like once. And that's what this is from. This is from the movie. So I think this makes it, what, the 4th generation of Gundams? But yeah. Very green and white color scheme. Maybe a darker green than the Dynamis, which is sort of this thing's predecessor. I'm not 100% certain. Now, something I am going to point out is this guy is not super sticker heavy, but sticker heavy enough. Obviously, I forgot stickers somewhere, but I don't know where they are, and I didn't totally like using the stickers. So, like, these gray details here, the green up here, some stuff on the face, things like that. It's not horrible, but it's not that great either. I think the absolute worst sticker on it is up here on the head, which let's go ahead and do our usual start of articulation over there, and we'll take a look at it. So sculpt-wise, I really dig what they've done with the head. It's a simplified design, but not so simple as to be boring looking. Sorry, I went out of focus a little bit there. But this part here is pretty bad. It's actually clear, but for whatever reason it needs to be both blue and gray. Why they couldn't have molded it in one of those colors, I don't know. It does have a neat little detail where you can sort of move this part up, revealing the targeting sensor in the V-fin. If I remember correctly, on the Dynamis, the V-fin actually drops down a little bit, so that way this kind of covers the eyes. This is sort of opposite almost. The articulation-wise, it is on a your standard HG double ball joint, so you get turkey neck. And let's see, can you rotate this around? Yes. Though it's trying to take the neck with it. So that's just something to be aware of. And I like the sculpt on the face here. It doesn't have the standard Gundam face mask, but it looks pretty cool, so I dig it. So, shoulders have your standard butterfly joint that allows some forward movement. And then the shoulder itself is on a ball socket joint, which allows for some nice rotation around and movement. You can move the arm up a little bit, but the armor is restricting. Though, I believe, yeah, this is actually designed to come off. And so you can get pretty much unrestricted movement that way. It should also be noted that there is detail molded in here, but I can't remember what that does in the show. Elbow is kind of almost like a pseudo double joint, but you don't get a whole lot of bent out of it. You do get some nice reveal there with the little circle bit there. That's got a sticker underneath. You have a bit of jointing at this part at the wrist, though it doesn't move as much, and then the wrist itself is on a ball socket joint. Let's see, and these parts can be, they're not actually hinged, but they're pegged in a way where you can open them up like that. So these are supposed to be little missile things. And so you can't see the little GN reactor, condenser, whatever thing there. Let's see, you got a little bit of a ab crunch there. And waist rotation that is pretty much unrestricted. So that's pretty cool. And there's a ball joint in there as well for a little bit further movement. So torso, pretty darn good. So for the legs, you can move skirt armor up. I have it connected right now, but you can disconnect it if you want. So you can kick up a little bit, but you got to be careful because the green armor here does like to come off of a little piece of Under Armour there. You got very nice double jointed leg, which can almost get a really nice bend. There you go. But you got to move things because stuff in the back is restricting things. And this part just came off one of the shoulders. There we go. You can do pretty decent splits. Not bad. Jean-Claude Van Damme would be proud. You do got to be a little careful though, because there's nothing really holding these down at the top. The side skirts have this little tiny ball joint that pops in there, but you can pop them up if you're not careful. Seeing if I remember correctly, yeah, you can Move this like that, so like he's firing missiles off of his kneecaps. That's a thing you can do. Ankle has a nice little series of joints that allow for some pretty decent ankle articulation. Nothing phenomenal, but still pretty cool. This right here feels really loose to me, so I don't care for that too much. I do like the color and part separation here, though. Having the gray bits here along with the green just looks pretty nice, and it's nice that it's like that instead of either being just all one color and expecting you to paint or having to use stickers or something. So yeah, overall, very cool kit. Posability isn't too bad. Like I said before, Gundam 00 is when sort of modern Gunpla hit kind of at least the start of sort of a golden age. You see that carried over into Gundam Age and pretty much into the modern Gunpla lines. Now, this guy does come with some accessories, so let's take a look at those real quick. So, really, he's only got a few. Start off, we got these. His fence. He carries it with him wherever he goes. Now, these are, I guess they're the GN rifle bits or something like that. So you can pull these apart like this. And so each set has two that are basically merged together, and then one that can go around on its own. Now what's interesting is if you look at these when you assemble them, you can actually, if you have the right tools, cut these apart, though you don't have a little part to join them. You do, but it does still have like these little holes in there. So that's interesting. They have it set up where if you have enough time and patience and claw plate and glue, you can separate these out and have individual ones. Really, I just think it would have been better if they had just made them all like this. I don't know why they didn't. It's kind of weird, to be honest. But each one is set up like this. And as you can see, there is something special about these ones in the back. Or are they the front? I don't know. So the way these things work is you have these little armatures in the back which have locking points, but you're going to have to kind of disregard those for the most part. You're going to rotate these up, fold that out a little bit, or no, pop that in here, and then you lock it into place. Then second verse, same as the first. And there you go. So he has this basically portable shield collection of weapons thing. And truth be told, I don't dislike this as much as I thought I might do. It actually works. I would maybe have put it up a little bit further and maybe had it be like wings or something. But this kit actually pulls it off pretty darn well. So I can't really find myself complaining. So these individual ones here do house his weapons. Which is kind of cool, because weapon storage. So we have two identical rifles. And we can flip the handles out and then pull up the scope, drop them on the ground, pull things apart. There we go. And these actually, they look kind of cool. They're a little on the simple side, maybe. And I don't like how they did this stuff with the scope, because it is real easy for it to come off. Also, this white bit here is a sticker, and that sucks a little bit. Next accessory you have is this, which is basically a little part that extends the barrel out. I'm not 100% certain why it does this, but you can. I think also this is a version that it can take as well. You have options and things that you can do. And so if you want him to have these, you just push him into his hands. No need to take his fist apart. And he looks pretty cool. And the final accessory, to show that off, we're going to have to pull off these things. And we have this. It's a clear little plastic piece, and its main purpose is so that we can put these together. And basically this will help hold them together. And then if you have, there is a base display stand thing that comes with one of the other Gundams. Another one from this line of Gundams, in fact. And it's designed to basically connect to that, so that way you can have this floating out in front of it. And this is basically his shield. Which, not a whole lot to it, but it's a neat thing that it does in the show, or the movie I should say. And so it's nice that it's included on this kit. And this just keeps everything nice and stable. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if maybe you could equip this on his arm or something like that, but he never does that, so why? But yeah, that is that. I dig this kit. The stickers are unfortunate, but it's not awful. It's certainly not the worst I've seen. And he works really well with all the stuff that he comes with. He's not the most phenomenal kit in the world, but I don't think you could go wrong with it if you like Gundam 00 kits, if you like interesting builds. Why not? So, yeah. That has been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.